About 1 month ago, the Cobra Corporation sent me, at no cost to myself, their entire line of Trailblazer GMRS adventure radios. The Trailblazer 250, the Trailblazer 450, and this, the Trailblazer 500. I've already uploaded videos about the 250 and the 450. So in this video, the third and final video in this trilogy, I will be showing you the Cobra Trailblazer 500, the top-of-the-line Trailblazer GMRS adventure radio. The cost for a 2-pack of Cobra Trailblazer 500 handheld HT GMRS Walkie Talkie adventure radios is, as of today, $140 of monies, which means that each individual radio has an aggregate cost of about 70 monies each. And for your clicking and purchasing pleasure, I will put an affiliate link that, when clicked or tapped, will allow you to get more information about these radios or purchase a 2-pack of them for yourself. But wait, there's more, because unlike all of those other lesser YouTubers, I will do my best to keep this video very short and to the point, and I plan to do this by not wasting your valuable time by begging you to subscribe or telling you to watch to the end to trick you into watching the whole video as if you're some kind of an idiot. And I will focus only on the features of this radio that I care about. So when you purchase the 2-pack of Cobra Trailblazer 500 handheld HT GMRS Walkie Talkie adventure radios, in the box you will find no user manual. As with the entire line of Trailblazer radios, you will find only a QR code that takes you to the online user manual when you scan it with your phone. Simply scan the QR code with your phone and, like magic, it will take you to the web page where you will find the online user manual. The online user manual is very well written in perfect American English, just as one would expect from a company that is based right here in these United States, and the manual goes over all the features of the radio as well as how to operate it. In my videos about the other Trailblazer radios, there was much wailing and gnashing of teeth in the comments about the lack of a paper manual for these radios. Apparently, what some people fail to grasp is that an online user manual does not require the killing of any trees, nor does it take up any room in the landfill like a paper manual, since everybody just throws them straight into the trash, and an online user manual can very easily be corrected or updated by the manufacturer. And yet, even in this 21st century of which we find ourselves in, some people running out of things to get enraged about will still whine and complain about the user manual not being available on paper, even though they can just print a paper copy of it themselves if they really wanted to. Anyway, in the box you will find a couple of safety warning sheets printed in an impossible-to-read tiny font. You will find 2 removable antennas, one for each radio in the 2-pack, 2 radio holsters, and 1 USB-C's charging cable. And you will find 2 Cobra Trailblazer 500 handheld HT GMRS Walkie Talkie adventure radios. On the top of each radio, you will find an on-off and volume control knob. You will find a channel changing knob, an emergency alarm button, of which I will discuss more momentarily, and a standard SMA hole for attaching the supplied antenna or for connecting to a larger external antenna. On this side, you will find a push-to-talk trigger, and on this side, behind this door, you will find holes for an external microphone or headset, and a USB-C's hole for charging the radio. On the bottom, you will find a pair of vestigial battery charging contacts for use with an optional charging cradle that is not necessary because you can charge it via the previously mentioned USB-C hole. On the rear, behind this door that opens with a thumb screw, that does not fall out and try to run under your refrigerator when you open it up, you will find a pre-installed user-replaceable 2000 milliamp hour lithium polymer battery that Cobra says will last for up to 16 hours. And although I cannot confirm that, I can confirm that the battery in both of mine lasted all day when I played with them. And lastly, on the front, you will find a large speaker, a microphone, a green LED transmit and receive indicator, and a red battery warning LED indicator, as well as a very simple array of only 3 control buttons. And what you will not find is a screen, which at first glance might feel slightly uncomfortable, but when you actually think about it, why would you even need a screen? This is a radio, not a television set. And because there is no screen to suck down the battery, all of the control feedback is announced audibly. For those of you that did not pay attention in school or have trouble with big words, this means that the radio talks at you when you change channels or change any settings. Thusly.
Bank 1, channel 16. Bank 1, channel 17.
And much to my surprise, after playing with the radio for the first few minutes, I actually very quickly came to the realization that this audio feedback
Bank 1, channel 19.
actually works quite well and better than any of the other screenless radios that I have ever reviewed. Another thing that I very quickly came to realize is that the holsters hold the radios very securely. The radio goes into the bottom of the holder. You then click it in on the top. And it does not want to let go until you successfully unclick it. And the very rigid spring-loaded clip can rotate and stay in place at almost any angle. Perfect for attaching to a backpack strap, and even better for attaching the holster to your belt for impressing the chicks whilst out adventuring. As with any real adventure radio, this radio is extremely simple to use. As just mentioned only moments ago, it only has 3 buttons and 2 control knobs. And it has an automatic squelch so that you don't have to worry about that. And because it is a GMRS radio, it works right out of the box. Simply take it out of the box, turn the radio on, pick a channel, and talk. And it is compatible with all other GMRS radios, irregardlessly of what brand. If your friend has a GMRS radio, this radio can talk with it. It is also compatible with all modern FRS radios. Those are the cheap 22-channel radios that you get at Walmart. Again, irregardlessly of what brand it is. All of these features make the Trailblazer 500 not only perfect for adventuring, but also perfect for gallivanting. The radio has 4 banks or groups of customizable channels, and the radio is repeater capable if you go out of your way to enable that option. However, I should point out that even though this radio is repeater capable, this radio is not made for radio dorks, and most people interested in potentially purchasing this radio will never need to worry about any of that repeater mumbo jumbo or the custom channel banks. If your biggest worry is how many custom channels this radio can store, then this radio is not for you, and you should probably just go away now. Anyway, this radio can also receive all NOAA weather channels and NOAA weather alerts. Only moments ago, I mentioned the alarm button on the top of this radio, which, when pressed, will transmit an emergency alarm that will enable the emergency alert feature on any other nearby Trailblazer 500 and 450 radios that are on the same channel, as well as several other Cobra brand radios. When enabled, this will make the lights flash and sound an extremely loud alarm on both radios. Thusly. Shit. In the past, I have made fun of the weak and impotent alarm buttons on many lesser radios, but after reading comments on some of my other videos making fun of what I have often referred to as a useless alarm button, I have now learned and grown to understand that whilst hiking, skiing, or partaking in other vigorous outdoor adventure-related activities, the alarm could come in useful if you were to fall and become partially incapacitated or caught in an avalanche or whatever. Anyway, of course, this radio also has a Roger beep. As mentioned only moments ago, this radio is very, very simple to use, and it works right out of the box. No programming, no setting, no nothing, other than turning it on and picking a channel. However, if you want to get fancy and delve into the menus, there are only 5 menu options to worry about. Voice control, or Vox.
Vox off.
Vox control sensitivity.
Vox 5.
Roger beep, on or off.
Roger on.
Repeater mode, on or off.
Repeater off.
And weather alerts, on or off.
Weather alert off.
Because of this simplicity and the 100% audio feedback for everything on the radio, this radio would be very well suited for someone of the blind persuasion, something that a lot of people have asked me about over the years. This radio is dust-proof and water-resistant, so you can use it in the desert, in the snow, or in the rain, but it is probably not the best choice for overland swimming, kayaking, or any adventure where the radio is likely to become fully submerged in water or any other fluids. This radio, like all of the other Trailblazer radios, are not super heterodyne type radios. This radio and all Cobra Trailblazer radios are homodyne type radios. And this is because only radio dorks care about whether a radio is a super heterodyne type radio or a homodyne type radio. And a normal person will never notice any difference betwixt the two. So if having a super heterodyne type radio is important to you, then none of these Cobra Trailblazer radios are for you. So go back to your basement, tell your mom to warm up some Hot Pockets for you, and stop being homodynophobic. Speaking of radio dorks, this radio can optionally be programmed using the free Cobra programming software and an optional programming cable, which plugs into the previously mentioned USB-C's hole. But again, that is for radio dorks, and a normal person will pretty much have zero reason for wanting to do that, so I'm not going to talk about it. The Trailblazer 500, just like the entire line of Cobra Trailblazer adventure radios, are 2.5 watt radios. That means that they output a maximum of 2.5 watts when transmitting via pressing the push-to-talk trigger. And all 3 radios give virtually the exact same FARs, which, contrary to what some people may leave comments proclaiming, is several miles of FARs when you're in wide open areas, such as you might find whilst adventuring. Less if there are big hills or a mountain between you and the other radio. And this radio and the other Cobra Trailblazer radios give virtually the exact same FARs as a 5-watt radio when used in most outdoor adventuring scenarios. However, the big difference between a 5-watt radio and a 2.5-watt radio that you will notice is that the battery will last much longer on a 2.5-watt radio, such as the Cobra Trailblazer radios. And just to prove some people wrong about how many FARs this radio can give, me and my friend Brian rode our fancy e-bikes out to the middle of the desert. And whilst I sat under a shady cactus at the edge of a large cliff overlooking more desert, Brian rode his e-bike off in the opposite direction until he ran into some hills just short of 2 miles away. And this is how the radios sounded basically 2 miles apart. Brian, do you copy on this Cobra
Trailblazer 500 handheld HD GMRS Walkie Talkie from just under 2 miles away? How do I sound? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Coming in loud and clear.
He would have gone further away, but any further would have put him behind a ridge of mountains, and no handheld HT GMRS walkie-talkie radio, no matter how many watts it outputs, can transmit through hills or mountains. In other words, in this kind of outdoor scenario, a higher-powered radio would be a waste of precious battery juices. And just to prove that this radio can talk farther than 2 miles, contrary to what some people will claim in the comments of this video, I also did my standard radio FARS test that I do with all the radios that I review by calling my friend Conrad, the chef, at his house 13 miles away. Conrad, the chef, was listening on his base station radio with a large antenna on the roof, and I, using this very radio, called Conrad, the chef, direct radio to radio, no repeater. This is what us radio experts refer to as simplex mode. And this is how this Trailblazer 500 radio sounded from 13 miles away.
Shepro, how does this Cobra Trailblazer 500 sound at 13 miles away? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So as you just saw with your very own ears, anyone leaving comments declaring that a 2.5 watt radio can give no FARS, or that nobody will hear you with a 2.5 radio, is an idiot. So if you are looking to purchase a small, lightweight, rugged, sleek handheld HT GMRS Walkie Talkie adventure radio from an American company to fit your active radio adventuring lifestyle, the Cobra Trailblazer 500 might just be the adventure radio for you.